Kyle.
Nick, talk to us more about Devontae Adams.
Let's talk to you.
He's elite.
We can talk about Aaron Jones more. We can talk about anyone else on your team.
Let's talk about the Hawks, Kyle. How did you feel the game against Eli Manning? Oh, he's not there anymore. Oh, Danny Dimes. Oh, Danny Dimes didn't play? Oh, Colt McCoy. Saquon Barkley ran everywhere. Oh, wait, Saquon wasn't there. But they had Victor Cruz. They got Odell. Oh, wait, they're gone.
The who'd
you lose to?
Mario Manningham's still there?
Making some helmet catches.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the game?
That was Plex. I don't know.
The Giants deserve the win. The Giants deserve the win.
Here.
No, they deserve the win.
Yes, Kyle. Any team that wins deserves to win.
We played like crap. That's what it comes down to. We played like crap in this game. Normally, when it comes to the losses, I come onto the podcast and explain, ways that we could have won or ways that would have changed the outcome of the game. This one, there's nothing to it. We did not play well, and we lost poorly. That Giants defense is very underrated. I was very impressed looking at them for the first time, really as a unit on, live. I've only been seeing stats and highlights.
We beat them.
That fair enough.
Lost.
You figured it out.
Guy, what are you doing to me? I'm trying to get one win all year. What are you doing to me?
Sorry.
Talking, Kyle.
No, that unit is really good, and I was really impressed. I feel like seeing that unit being worked so well together, it gives me hope for the Giants franchise that they do have a pretty solid head coach in Joe Judge. I don't know what his coaching style is or anything, but it just seems like he was able to get that unit to really, shape up and be able to take over our offensive line. It was just putrid. Remind me of the many years that Russ has had to deal with bad O-line play. And they were just able to get, to Russ, and they were just able to stop him. And they almost looked like they gave Russ the yips, which I barely say, but that's just what it looked like. It looked like Russ had the yips because there was just nothing that was stopping that unit. I wasn't too mad by our defense. I mean, yeah, the Colt McCoy beat us, but really, it was Wayne Gallman and the old body of Alfred Morris and their run game that was just somehow.
So that makes you feel better? That old man Alfred Morris and Wayne Gallman. Who the heck's Wayne Gallman? They stopped you instead of Colt McCoy?
It doesn't make me feel better. I'm just saying it wasn't Colt McCoy. But I wasn't too mad by the defense because at least we were able to look better than I've seen, in past other games at the beginning of the season. We didn't look abysmal, but it just goes to show with Norton, he kept seeing them running with either Gallman or Alfred Morris, and, he kept thinking, well, there's no way they're going to run again. Oh, they gained 12 yards? Well, there's no way they're going to run again. Oh, they gained 20 yards. Alfred Morris gained 20 yards, got a touchdown. So it just makes me furious about the coordinator, but I thought the defense overall played all right. And there was just things, again, criticisms of Pete Carroll that I had weeks ago that came back into fruition with this game as well. It just, it's just frustrating because, this team we have the talent. We're better than we should be, but then we have moments where even a team like the Giants who, I give them credit. They have a good defense, but you would think that the Seahawks offense would be able to at least get over the hump and be able to at least put up 1 point to win the game. But
do you listen to Russ's podcast?
No.
Oh.
Why? What'd he say?
He just had Dwayne Wade on because he knows talent. But I was curious. I didn't know he had a Nick. That's a win right there. If basketball wasn't starting, I might have jumped off a bridge by now. I am so pumped for basketball to be in 3 weeks. You kidding me? Nick's not going to be watching a lot of basketball
2 weeks from today.
Holidays. You and me. A little ball time, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Let's get it done.
Easy.
Anyway, anything else, Kyle?
I take it I'm not invited because I lost to the Giants, right?
Exactly.
Fair enough.
I mean, I forgot you were coming up to where.
The reason you wouldn't be invited. The reason you wouldn't be invited to basketball is because you watch the Lakers preseason games with Lonzo Ball more than you watch LeBron James and Anthony Davis win a championship.
Kuzma put up a show.
I forget that happened. I'm going to be honest. I had a hard time with your loss, your Hawks. And it's because last year I was roasted when the OK Eagles lost to obviously they're balling out this year, fins up always, but lost to the Dolphins, who were not good last year. And you lose to an team, but you're supposed to be pretty dang good. And you lost. And I get roasted and nothing happens? Get out of
here. What week did you play them?
Probably around the same time. It was later in the year in December.
It was before they started playing better. It was at the start of when they started playing better.
The first half of the season?
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably why.
Middle of the season.
It doesn't change a thing.
Does it?
At all. No, they still had a high get out of here. You lost to the Giants with Colt McCoy, and you're sitting here telling me that me losing to Ryan Fitzmagic is worse? Get out of town. Alfred Morris ran for 46 yards. You let Wayne Gallman run for 128. Yep. And you're sitting here. Get out of town.
I'm just saying the team's coming together that Giants team is coming together when I was playing them this week. So
good for Joe Judge and the Giants, but get out of here.
You know what?
You can roast me if you want. Like, that's fine.
I am horrible.
What I'm curious about, and you two are both in this. Yeah.
Okay.
The beginning of the season, I got laughed at saying that the Giants would win 6 to 7 games, and they're about to win 6 or 7 games.
They're at 5. Kyle and I said 3 to 5. Right now, we're winning.
But Nick did see the signs on the wall.
They were a little bit better. Now, I didn't think
allies in a flash.
I did not think that the Giants would be good enough to win the division, but I did think they'd be about this good this year. I just didn't realize the other three would be this bad.
I was going to say, I don't think you realized how horrible. You didn't think our prediction would be this horrible.
Yeah, but
I the Eagles going 11-5. They're 3,
but I still thought that I thought the division would be better, and I still thought the Giants would be pretty decent. And for them there's a pretty big win for them. Their defense has been good all year. We mentioned, I know you mentioned it, Kyle, when they played the Rams, and it was 17-9, but the Rams were scoring on everybody else before that, and all of a sudden we were like, they only put up 17 points on the Giants, and they've really figured it out. I know Daniel Jones didn't play, but his last couple of games, he hasn't turned the ball over as much. And so the Giants they have a good defense. And if you play like a weather game against them, I wouldn't put them to beat any team in the playoffs, but it definitely could be a close matchup. And it looks like it could be Giants and Seattle running it back, which would be funny if Seattle lost a double doink to them.
It'd be hilarious.
And I'm not. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, and I was just going to say really quickly on Seattle, it's a bad loss, but the Giants have been playing good. Obviously, Colt McCoy is a joke at quarterback, and you should never lose to a person who's that bad at quarterback, even if they're running all over you, because they're running, right? And you're supposed to have good run. That is what confused me, is you guys you shut down Miles Sanders, didn't you? You had a pretty good run. You have a very good run defense. It's your pass defense.
Top 10.
Shut down Miles Sanders. We didn't use Miles Sanders, sir.
It's true. They didn't use Miles.
We didn't use the running back.
I mean, when you have KJ Wright, Jamal Adams, and Bobby Wagner, you should be a pretty good run defense. So that was a little surprising to me, but it really didn't change my outlook on Seattle. I think we've kind of been on the same kind of pace where more than any other team of the upper echelon in the NFC, even more than the Packers, and definitely more than the Saints and like the Bucks, if we still think they're in it, and the Rams, Russell Wilson has to play at an MVP level for them to beat decent teams. Like that's just the reality situation. I lived through that with Aaron Rodgers for a decade, basically, where if he had one game where he wasn't dominant, we might lose that game. And it feels a little bit different this year for the Packers, just because we have a really dynamic running game, and our defense is good in spots, and it's been a little bit better this week until the fourth quarter last couple of weeks. But it really does feel like, Russ, I know there was a tipped pick, not his fault. And I know he had a fumble, but I don't know if that was his fault or Sunner's fault, because I didn't see it. But there have been a lot of turnovers. If he turns the ball over like he has, at times throughout this year, the Seahawks are probably going to end up being a wild card team and not really making noise in the playoffs. But if he gets back to what he was doing the first month of the season, they can compete with any team in the NFL. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do that for 3 or 4 straight probably 3 straight games in the postseason in tough weather games against the best teams in the NFL. Is he going to be able to put up 3 straight MVP performances? That's what it's going to come down to for Seattle, and I think the Giants just reinforce that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think teams, after watching, play the defenses of the Eagles and the Giants, I think they're just going to copy what they do. And I think unless if our offense changes some things a bit, and if Russ can figure out why he's kind of in a slump for how good he is kind of in a slump right now. Unless if they don't figure that out, I think defenses can be able to stop our offense, and that's just going to cause trouble in those postseason and regular season games for the rest of the year, and especially when it comes to like the weather that's coming up. So,
although the best thing that you have is you're playing the Jets next week.
I hope.
Man, if Kyle destroys them and then they fire Adam Gase, that would be the greatest thing for the man ever.
Not only
that episode is going to be
they fired. Oh,
that episode will be a party.
But also for Alex and I, if the Jets with Adam Gase beat you, it'll be a party for Alex and I.
Now look,
I'm going to be.
I feel bad for my buddy when I'm really roasting the extreme Hawk fans who for some reason take unnecessary shots at specifically me. Then that we know, I'm not taking shots at my buddy. I'm just ranting because we're on a show. But it is a bummer you did lose. But Russ, too, you're talking a slump. He went from he's got to be the clear-cut MVP to he's having a pretty average year.
I mean,
good year, not average, but he's throwing 11 picks, 30-something touchdowns.
Yeah, his turnovers are really bad because he also has a handful of fumbles, and he's obviously thrown a ton of touchdowns, but it hasn't been that many since like the first 5 games of the year where he was on pace to throw almost 60 touchdowns after the first month and a couple weeks. Yeah, he was. I think it was. Yeah. I remember looking at once. It was 58 touchdowns he was on pace for, and now he's might throw 40, probably 40 because he's playing the Jets, but which is still really good, but not as good as it seemed like it was going to be, which is surprising to me because I thought he had MVP on lock. He just had to cruise and not implode.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is defenses are able to figure out how our offense goes, and our offense just can't figure out how to adjust, and that causes issues for how our game plan is, but also causes issues for Russ even. I do wonder over these past couple of weeks, I have kind of wondered if there maybe there's a shoulder injury that we don't know about, or maybe he has the yips.
Has he ever been injured? He's got the bubble water. He doesn't get hurt.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating. Like, there really isn't anything to, like, I'm not seeing him throw and be like, oh God. But,
I hope Wentz is hurt and that's why he is struggling. I would love to blame it on something other than just he's bad.
And when I say like the yips, I don't mean like the Kirk Cousin type yips that we've seen
the
before,
Wentz yips,
or the Wentz yips, exactly. But I just mean
the hiccups.
It really is just his. Yeah. I think Wentz. I mean, not Wentz. Russ has had a little bit. I mean, obviously he's still playing pretty good, and it was just a really short stretch where it was really not very good, and it's back to pretty good. But I feel like he does, and this has always been an issue, he holds on to the ball too much, and a lot of sacks are on him. But he does play a little bit of hero ball, I think, and I think that's why he's had a few too many picks. But yeah, your offense is interesting because DK has turned into an absolute monster on one-on-one coverage, but he's also had a few games where he's shut down, and if you can stop the deep ball, I feel like you can stop this offense, and I think we said that early. But and DK's obviously is turning into a receiver who can play at every level of the game. But like against the Rams and Jalen Ramsey, he did nothing. And I feel like that's possible to replicate, even if you don't have Jalen Ramsey, if you just hedge coverages to him. Because I feel like teams play an absurd amount of single coverage on DK, and that's where he gets, he's leading the league in single coverage yards by a wide margin because he's just physically way better than everybody else he lines up against. I don't know. Obviously, what do you think, Kyle?
Well, that's so funny because outside of him being covered really well by Jalen Ramsey and being shut down by him, I haven't really seen it to where he is being shut down lately. Like, in fact, I think he's almost the only guy outside of Russ on the offense that is lighting it up. And part of that is because of single coverage, and the other part of it is because of how talented and how big his upside is. But I've seen Tyler Lockett being shut down pretty good. He doesn't, and I wonder if there is an injury with him as well that we don't know about, because he doesn't seem like the same explosive type guy.
It's easier to shut down a guy who's 5'10" than a guy who's 6'5", and DK is just massive. You can't. It's harder to shut a guy like that down.
Sure. I just have been so used to seeing Tyler being able to escape and get out into the open space and just make some crazy one-on-one catches that, like, seeing him being shut down and not being used much in the offense is just so unusual to me.
Yeah.
That I almost wonder part of it is injury. But anyway, that's to wrap up everything. Like, this is the game, the Seahawks game, where I finally decided to never be surprised anymore when it comes to Seahawk football.
DK has been shut down by in three games by one team, and then the same team twice. Arizona has him, and the Rams have him. Every other game he's been 80 or above.
That adds up.
But the Rams held him to 28 yards. The Arizona Cardinals held him to 23 and 46. And he got one touchdown in all those games. So those are the teams that have been able to figure him out.
I feel like it's really – I just think the deep ball, if you're willing to – give up some run plays to Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde, and you're just going to say we're not going to get beat deep. We're not going to let DK go one-on-one. We're going to put our best, our fastest corner on Tyler to stay with him, and then maybe try to put a spy on Russ. The issue is that I don't like. There's not that mid game, right? Like, it's been like that for years though, where it doesn't feel like you guys have that mid game to really carve up a defense.
Josh Gordon, though, that man
is going to get one big slant.
He's going to get a big slant, take it 80 yards to the house, and every Hawk fan's going to lose it.
I do. Yeah. It's true though. I do think having Josh Gordon in there, it could help. I mean, I don't know how long it'll last.
It's not going to hurt. I mean, I'm with you. It could. I like to poke fun at it, but it actually could be a big time move.
And Rashad Penny is coming back.
Just keeping things consistent.
Oh yeah. Rashad Penny, forgot about him.
I almost did too, but he should be coming back this next week. So maybe our run game will be. Our run game might be a little bit more dynamic. Might help open things up. We'll see.